Welcome to another episode, everyone. Poetic Flakko is totally disrespecting LA gang culture and the West Coast. I mean, this is bad. He has went pretty far this time. He's taking Charleston White's approach, apparently. How will this all end? Let's get into it.
After today has never been more clear, the West Coast gotta go. Their culture gotta go, their degeneracy gotta go, their bootlicking gotta go, their selling out gotta go, their gangbanging gotta go. It all has to go. If black folks got any hopes of ever rising up and figuring things out, these West Coast sellouts can't come with us, man. This Young Thug, 21 Savage, and Atlanta drama today really proved
We can't come with him. We don't want to go with you, bro. Let me let him talk. Because someone was saying to come in, man, let him talk, man. You interrupting, you reacting too much. Let's let the video play. So I'm not sure what y'all want. Let me let them talk. Let me let him talk.
why the West Coast gotta go. See, we just watched Young Thug, 21 Savage, and Atlanta rappers come together to spark up this new movement to save these babies from the streets, to uplift black people, to get us back on the right track, and to really save a lot of lives. And you know the only opposition to their positivity, you know the only people who are against the new positive movement that 21 Savage and Young Thug just launched? You guessed it, all right? The bootlicking West Coasters, okay? 21 Savage recently dropped an album called What Happened to the Streets. It looks like street dudes are finally using the two brain cells they have left to figure out there's nothing good about the streets. Now, the album itself was 21 Savage essentially talking about how, the streets used to be amazing. He don't know what happened to it right now. There's no code of honor to the streets, et cetera, et cetera. Again, just a stupid, low IQ conversation to have. There's nothing that has ever been good about the streets. The streets has always been bad. It's always been filled with crooks and degenerates and people who got nothing to offer. And these are people with no moral codes. There has never been a thing called a code of conduct or a code of ethics or moral codes in the streets, bro. These Neanderthals can't even tell you if you ask them what moral compass they follow. The streets, gangbanging, Crips, Bloods, it was created by literal 15-year-olds. 15-year-olds created cripping and blooding, and they created the rules of the streets that 35-year-old grown men with damn near grandkids are following right now. That's how stupid these people are. Think about it for a second, bro. 35-year-olds are following the rules of the streets that 15-year-olds created. The streets ain't never disavowed robbing grandmamas, shooting babies, shooting up the parks where babies stay, rolling up in people's homes who got just as little as you. Like killing fathers, killing brothers, killing kids. They have never disavowed that. So what moral conduct did they ever have? No snitching, dodging accountability. So the streets ain't never had no rules. So don't ever listen to anybody who tell you, oh man, what happened to the streets? Bro, y'all been fools. Y'all been clowns. Y'all been degenerates, bro.
Okay, I'm gonna have to stop it right there, man. Now, personally, I have no problem with Poetic Flakko. He says some things that I actually agree with. I do have some problems with his take. Now, let me preface this by saying that I have, again, nothing personal against him, and I don't take these attacks personally. I promise you, I never have. I've never looked at his video or anyone else's and said, he's talking about me. I'm not unintelligent. I'm not a thug. I'm not any of these things that he describes. So I never think he's talking about me. So I don't feel a personal need to respond or to defend myself or even my culture for that matter. But I will say that the problem that most people have, and that I too have with this sort of content, is just that a lot of these individuals make money off of LA, off of gang culture, and off of content based on our creativeness, our culture. And then they turn around and disparage and denigrate the culture in the same breath. And I know that there has been a lot of anti-LA talk, a lot of anti-gang talk, a lot of anti-West Coast talk on the internet as of late with Charleston White and others. And these individuals are saying that they once respected LA and LA culture and LA gang bangers and LA gang culture and thought that it was something to aspire to. They all looked up to LA and began gang banging in their states and this and that. And they thought that LA was just so tough and, the culture was just so awesome. But Charleston White and others are saying, but now we look at y'all, man, like y'all some suckers. We can't believe that we ever followed y'all or thought that y'all was something. Man, y'all some suckers out there, snitches, homosexuals, y'all some cowards, and this and that. So Charleston White is saying this sort of stuff and getting away with it. And I'm just going to say, again, that there's some things about gang culture and LA culture that I would not say. And I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, California, and have always been a part of the culture, the gang culture and the whole LA culture, Black culture in general. Still some things that I wouldn't say to disparage this culture because I'm from there and I know better. And the things that you guys thought about LA and the people in LA, it still holds true today. You may think that things have changed, and some things have changed. Things are watered down. People are snitching. Gangs are tolerating this, etc. But there are still some crash outs in Los Angeles. You still have to be careful with your rhetoric and the things that cause you to idolize these individuals in LA years ago. That culture still exists and these individuals still exist. It's still very hot and intense and violent in Los Angeles, California. And you have to be careful, I would say, with your rhetoric. This is just word of advice because sooner or later, it's all going to come crashing down. It's all fun. You're making content and Flakko gets a lot of views. So he's not going to stop making this kind of content. He's not going to stop saying this sort of stuff because he's getting a lot of views from it. Obviously, there's an audience for it. But at the end of the day, there's an audience for anti-Black content on the internet right now. A lot of these Black content creators are making anti-Black content and are laughing all the way to the bank, selling their souls for the dollar. But when that community is done with them, after they use them up like the useful idiots that they are, then they throw them back to the Black community. And then us, being foolish, accept them back. We take them back. No. This is right-wing talking points, what Flakko is espousing here. And he's denigrating the gang culture, true enough, but the Black culture too, in a roundabout way. And this is what sells on YouTube right now. So he's not going to stop this sort of content. But the problem that I have with it in particular is just that the KKK is also a gang of degenerates who also break into people's homes who have nothing. They steal, they take, they burn homes down, and they murder, they kill. But he never calls this out, or no one does. The government, the politicians themselves are a gang. The police force are a gang. They kill, they destroy, they have no moral compass. They murder without cause. They make war on other nations and kill hundreds of thousands of people all in the name of money. Have been divested of their moral compass from day one. If they ever had one, they've been divested of it many years ago, but no one calls them out because no one wants to hear that. You're not going to get a lot of views if you're talking about the other gangs and their propensities towards violence and hatred and scamming and being thuggish and scumbags. You're not going to make any money. You're not going to get any views talking about them. You got to talk about your own people. This is what they want to hear. The American public has an insatiable appetite for the denigration of Black people. This is what they want to hear, particularly coming from another black person, so that they can then say, see, even they feel this way about y'all. Even he says y'all bums, homeless scumbags, worthless with no fucking morals. We don't have to say it so that you can accuse us of being racist. We put them out there and they say it. And we just agree. Nick Fuentes, the list goes on. They make a lot of money with anti-black content, but you come out and say one thing about white people, you can get canceled. You're going to be called all kinds of racist. But these individuals can sit on the internet and talk about a whole culture, how they have two brain cells, how they're stupid and dumb and degenerates and scumbags. Understand that these individuals who gangbang, right or wrong, they believe that they're fighting for a cause. The cause is wrong, but the energy that they put behind it is not. They believe that they're fighting for a cause. Once we can change their mindset that the cause that they're fighting for is wrong and get them to fight for a better cause, then things will change. But it's not going to change by just disparaging them. That's the problem that I have, is everyone wants to talk about the problem, but no one ever offers a solution. All you're doing is talking about the culture and how bad it is, but you're not saying how we can improve it or doing anything to improve it. You just want to denigrate it and then laugh all the way to the bank. This here's an individual that works for No Jumper, a podcast that profits and benefits off of the same culture that he disparages and denigrates. This is what pays your bills, this culture. If you think you're going to be able to sit around and continue to talk about people's dead homies, people's families, and their hoods and their culture, whether you believe what they're fighting for is right or not, they believe this. They're willing to die for this shit. In fact, many of them have. I'm not here to make any threats. I'll let this individual do what he wants. He's not going to stop the content because it's profitable. Everyone had better tread lightly. I'll give Poetic Flakko more of a pass than I'll ever give Adam 22. Adam 22 needs to get the fuck out of our community. For real. And I mean fast.
Right? Y'all are the worst group of people to ever grace this planet. Y'all are disgusting, trifling human beings. We don't like y'all. But 21 Savage dropped an album asking what happened to the streets. Now, he followed this up on Twitter where I guess his album really wasn't well received because you didn't really do anything on that album to really preach against the streets. All you said was, hey, man, we used to really get busy, but now the streets is flawed. That's not even a conversation starter when it comes to fixing our issues. So I guess to make up for that album, he took to Twitter and he took to social media to really make his message felt, which is F the streets. To further show that he's really against the streets and everything that comes with it, 21 Savage took to Twitter to let Young Thug know that he needs to forgive Gunna for quote unquote snitching, because the street ish ain't nothing coming out of it, bro, but trauma, right? So let's get rid of the street codes and the street rules and let's start living our lives like civilians, okay? So 21 Savage tagged Gunna, he tagged Young Thug, and he says, y'all ninjas fix that ish. Y'all love each other, ninja. You knew Gunna wasn't no gangster where he told the first time and we swept it under the rug for you. You know he wasn't trying to leave you to hang. Ninja F the streets. We ain't get ish but trauma from that ish, bruh. So 21 Savage publicly telling Young Thug, hey, bruh, get rid of that street code, man. Gunna told, but we moving on from the street, so we don't care about snitching no more, bruh, right? Y'all fix it, y'all work it out. He got a lot of backlash from this. Like, he got a lot of backlash from telling Young Thug to forgive snitching, because snitching is like the cardinal sin in the streets.
The cons always outweigh the pros of the street. Yeah. You can go to jail, or you can die, you can get robbed.
But it was worth it because you can get some real money. You can grind up.
Right, you can get some money. Yeah. Now, your ass can't go buy nothing and come up off no block, nowhere. It's probably two hoods in Atlanta that you can just really block serve for real.
Turn something to nothing.
You get what I'm saying? And grind for real. But you can't as a young nigga, you can't grind no more. These young niggas, it's really like an oxymoron. Is that what it's called? Oxymoron, where some shit just don't make sense. Goddamn, you signing up for some shit to only die or go to jail. Back in the day, you was signing up to shit. Get some money, might die, might go to jail. Yeah. Now you only signing up to die or go to jail.
Back in the day, you gonna get some money before you do one or the other.
Right.
Before you die or go to jail, 9 times out of 10, you gonna get some money. Yeah. It's like,
but the cons still outweigh the pros back then too. That's what I'm saying. Now I'm saying it ain't no pros. It's nothing but cons. Back then it was like, all right, it's some pros to this shit, but the cons is kind of higher though, because if they catch your ass, they gonna do it to you. But goddamn now, there's no pros at all. You're literally getting in the street to die or go to jail.
Niggas don't even, that's crazy. Niggas, I was just thinking about that on the way here. Niggas don't even introduce themselves as.
She's saying some good stuff, so I would allow it. Y'all know my rule, bro. I'm against former street dudes trying to be advocates in the black community, because advocacy usually comes with social currency you can spend for goodwill. And only in our community do we allow that. Think about it for a second, bro. A Nazi soldier would never be considered an advocate. And even if he tries, he'll be shunned and condemned. They won't allow no Nazi soldier to be an advocate for anti-Semitism. Are you crazy? But only in our community can a street dude who have murdered, who have pillaged, who have robbed our communities, then after banging and being a street dude for so many years, they now want to be an advocate. They now want to also get the social rewards of being an advocate and representing a community of people.
Yeah, because when you know better, you do better. I'm certainly an advocate, and no black person will ever be able to tell me that I can't fight for my people because of my past misdeeds. If you can forgive white people for their misdeeds, and you can forgive me for mine. When you know better, you do better. We now know better, and we're trying to do better. Should we continue with the savagery? Should we continue with the destructive nature? Or should we try to do better now? You're going to criticize everything, even when individuals are trying to do better. And then, so he's saying that people are upset because dude was saying forgive Young Thug for snitching. And, well, you should get rid of the street code. No, get rid of the street code. Get out of the street. If you're in the street, the code is going to remain, bro. Ain't no motherfucking snitching. No one respects a snitch, not just gang members. That's not just gang code. Donald Trump comes after anyone that says something bad about him or tells on him about something. No one likes being told on, because your business is your business. And it's a sign of weakness when you're exposing someone else, particularly after you've been exposed. Take your own shit. That's not just gang code and gang culture. That's man code. That's being a man. And so he's saying that the dudes out there in Atlanta or wherever the fuck they at, that they are coming together, and that the dudes here on the West Coast are trying to stop them from coming together, or immediately responding saying, oh man, that's some sucker shit, this and that. Understand this, first of all. Them dudes out there, first of all, haven't done anything. Hopefully they will, but talk is cheap. First of all, they ain't done shit. They talking about coming together and doing what they're going to. So far, ain't nothing happened, bro. So while you glazing them and praising them, ain't nothing happens, first of all. Second of all, when these RICOs start coming down, these RICO acts and all that, people tend to start getting involved in the community and coming up with nonprofits and programs and all that to get these people off your fucking back, bro. Be smart. You don't know nothing about the street. But like I said, I'm not here to denigrate Flakko. He makes some points. He has his opinion, and he had to be able to express it without threat, without being under threat. But still, we all have to be accountable and responsible for our actions and our words. Everyone does, But again, he can say and do whatever he wants to say. It's been working for him so far. He's making money off of it.
No, you don't. No, hell no. You don't get to represent us, right? Like after victimizing us. The oppressor cannot be an advocate for our sovereignty. No, we have to be our own advocates, okay? It's good that you stop oppressing us, but you get out the way and let us lead. That's how that works, okay? But 21 Savage.
No, that's not how that works. Because the thing is, once the dudes in the street who have that violent energy that most of you motherfuckers cannot even imagine, once they turn that energy outward instead of inward towards one another and turn it somewhere it needs to be directed, and I'm trying to tell them where it needs to be directed, not against me. I don't want violence against anyone, but direct it somewhere else. Once they do, once this happens, and it's going to happen, a lot of people are in the street striving for this objective on a daily basis to quell the conflicts in our community, to teach them who the real problem is, and to target that anger and volatile, combustible energy towards that end. Once that happens and we go to obtain our freedom, you are going to need us. Because this old "we shall overcome," walking and singing and holding hands, that's what you motherfuckers gonna do. Y'all gonna need this vanguard to come up. These violent individuals who are now violent amongst themselves, at least we know they have heart. They're gonna be the ones on the front line with the weapons when they go up. So you can say right now, get out of the way. But when these motherfuckers come after y'all, how you think you about to get freedom? By asking and singing? If that shit worked, we'd have been got it. It's gonna go up. That's how we gonna get it, bro. And when it go up, you're gonna be calling and begging for these individuals to show up and put down a threat. Cause you're not gonna put down a threat, and your ilk is not gonna put down a threat. You Clarence Thomas types are not gonna put down a threat. We are gonna put down a threat.
Is saying some good stuff. And it looks like other people, his peers, are following his lead. Because this caused a trickle effect on social media for the positive right before these West Coast demons try to stop it. Young Thug took to Twitter to publicly denounce the streets, tagging 21 Savage, letting him know he's on board with the movement. G Herbo also took to Twitter to denounce the streets, and he wrote F the streets. YFN Lucci also disavowed the streets, and he wrote F the streets, tagged 21 Savage. Pooh Shiesty also disavowed the streets, and he put traumatized F the streets, and he also tagged 21 Savage. He's seen a rapper from Memphis, Atlanta, Chicago, New York, all coming together to say F the streets. All coming together to say a change needs to happen. These babies can't just keep dying. Gang violence needs to stop. Our communities are going to waste. We need to get it together. We don't know what the answer is, but all we know is how we live in ain't the answer. You got powerful rappers in the industries coming together to fix this. And right when we thought we had a breakthrough with Black America, as Black folks, right when we thought we're about to get on page, we're about to stay on code and ride for us. You know the only coast that didn't have a rapper come out and say F the streets too and disavow the streets? As a matter of fact, maybe asking to disavow is too much. You know the one coast I seen where they were coming out and speaking up against the positivity and speaking up against disavowing the streets, against saving these babies, against ending Black death? You know the only coast? You guessed it, bruh. The West Coast Neanderthals, okay? The West Coast sellouts, man. They were coming to Twitter in droves. In droves. To talk about how, hold on, bro. What y'all mean after the streets? But hold on. I love the streets, man. Now, one person that I'll give a pass to is Blueface. Blueface just got out of jail. Right? So he may be still institutionalized, but I seen Blueface publicly just outright say, man, F this, man, hell nah. Man, I love the streets, man. Mister, you gonna respect this Crip and Ben? He wrote, "You square-eyed ninjas should have never jumped off the curb." Shaking my head, man. Slapping emoji, bruh. How dare y'all talk about stop the killing these black men? Man, cut it out, man. Y'all squares, bro. Get back in the crib, bruh.
Now, I'm sure that what people are responding to on the West Coast would be more in line with the individuals who are saying it's okay, he snitched on you, fuck the streets, fuck the street code, still hug and embrace this individual that snitched on you. Yes, it's rooted and embedded in individuals on the West Coast that is a no-go. Many people have lost their lives for snitching. But people on the West Coast are saying fuck the street. I'll say it. Can you hear me, Flakko? Fuck the street. People on the West Coast are saying fuck the street. But if you're going to be in the street, then you have to keep up with the code, bro. And if you don't want to keep up with the street code, then get out of the street. But don't be in the street and then say fuck the street code. It doesn't work like that. People on the West Coast have been peace treating for decades. Gangs have come together and there was a whole peace treaty amongst all gangs for some time. So we've been working in this vein of trying to end this destruction. Yes, it kicked back off, but we've been on this page. So while you're, lauding individuals from other states and them saying, because they made some Twitter comment about fuck the streets, they gonna go get caught with a gun and some weed tomorrow and be fighting the fucking case, because they made some comment on Twitter about fuck the streets. And because the motherfuckers on the West Coast came out and said this, it's people on the West Coast really doing the work. Not just community activists, people who are former members who are really doing the work. They're not on Twitter saying fuck the streets. They really in the streets trying to get people out of the streets, bro. But because you don't see this and recognize this, you make content and say that the people on the West Coast, this is inflammatory content, bro. People on the West Coast are the only ones that are trying to sabotage black people from stopping the violence. This is misleading and it's not true. We've been trying to stop the violence out here for decades. Hell, this is not to point fingers, but there's no competition, but there's some shit been going down in other places.
Blueface will also continue to put he love the streets. Now, again, Blueface just got out of jail. He's still institutionalized. I guess this is an excuse. Okay, I'm not gonna go too hard since he is fresh up out of prison.
How but this is disappointing to me,
man. Fans of the West Coast began to call upon West Coast personalities and rappers to also disavow the streets, to join in, to do something positive for black folks. Some were even saying, yo, Kendrick Lamar, Watch the Party Die, was even talking about this. Y'all should get on board with what Kendrick had going on. He was trying to also convey the same message that 21 Savage is conveying right now. Kendrick Lamar cousin Hitta J3 got wind of this and he tweeted, "The party dying ain't got itch to do with the streets!" Exclamation, exclamation. So this is really important to him. But he didn't just stop here though, right? He continued to All Lives Matter, the F the Streets movement. So he tweets out, "Save the streets, help the streets," which is just textbook All Lives Mattering. Like when we say Black Lives Matter, we're not saying that all lives don't matter. When we say F the streets, we're saying F gang violence, F mass incarceration, F babies dying, F drug and crime ridden societies, environments, F it all. We're not saying F poor people or F the hood. That's nonsense, all right? Because the majority of people who are in the hood, who are in these impoverished environments, they don't do no street stuff. They're not outside killing people. These people go to work every day. So when you say save the streets, exactly what are you saving about the streets? The hood and the streets are not are not the same thing. The hood and the streets are very different. The hood is just impoverished environments, right? That people who are there due to circumstances, those are good people who don't do no crimes, who don't go to jail, who work probably 2 or 3 jobs to feed their families. It's only a small percentage of you hooligans, you Neanderthals who are in the streets that are making the living conditions in those environments unbearable. We not saving y'all. It's time for y'all to go, bruh. And it's no coincidence that the one time it seems that hip hop is getting serious to start a movement to end the streets, to save these babies, the West Coast is the only coast stepping up to go against it. It's not a
Nobody's going against it. It is a coincidence. Nobody. Get out of the West Coast. If you go over there where they at, then, bro. Like I said, bro, I ain't coming at the Flakko. I'm trying to, this dude, man. It's all good, bro. But, man, no one on the West Coast is stopping it. As I just alluded to, individuals on the West Coast have been trying to de-escalate the gang violence for many decades, bro. People have lost their lives trying to stop the gangs out here on the West Coast. And it's continuing on now. I personally have homies that were, riders from the hood that no longer gang bang are in the communities trying to stop others from joining gangs, bro. Every day. They're there doing the work. So to put it out there that these other rappers who, with their lyrics, help contribute to the illness in the Black community, because they're now putting out a tweet and they profited and got millions off of it. It's easy to say all this shit that you made all your money off of the culture and off of the street, and your lyrics and your rhetoric and your content led to many fucking deaths. And now you're talking about let's do better. It's easy to say all that stuff now. So because they did all of this and now put out a tweet talking about let's do better, and because in his estimation, people on the West Coast are not breaking their necks to put out the same kind of tweet, we're somehow against the betterment of the community. I'm just here to disabuse that fallacy. That is not true. Disabuse you of the notion that black men on the West Coast are ill inclined to cease fire. That's not true. People are working daily to cease fire amongst ourselves. The self-destruction that is the Black community, we're looking to overturn that. We don't have to get on Twitter because some fucking rapper who snitched on somebody else somewhere else got on there saying, hey, let's all come together. We don't got to get on there to do that. Just because we have not done that does not mean that we're trying to thwart the efforts of others.
Coincidence, I'm telling y'all, bruh. It's not a coincidence at all. Think about everything that ever went wrong in hip hop. Bro, think about it. Every and all things that ever went wrong in hip hop, who was behind it? When Tupac died, who killed Tupac? Okay. When Biggie died and sent hip hop into a Great Depression. When New York finally had a rising star after defeating the Great New York Depression, where for a couple of years there, bro, I'll be real, we was asking, who's the next great New York rapper? Pop Smoke came. Who killed him? Hey, bro. Who sparked the movement that sent hip hop into the current depression we're currently in and having country music overtake us? Who sparked the current divide in hip hop that started stand wars? That divided hip hop. Now collaborations don't exist. Now we're not charting as we used to because we're all divided and we're infighting and we're boycotting actual albums from hip hop stars because of stand wars. Who started the downfall of hip hop in 2025? Y'all answer that question. Y'all know. I ain't gonna. Y'all know. So every time it's time for us to rise up and come together, who gets in the way? The West Coast.
The West Coast is not getting in the way, bro. Like I said, I'm about to let him finish, and I'm gonna go on with my business and go on with the rest of my day. Football's coming on, but I have more content that I have to do. But I've had enough of this already. I'll just say this, and I'll let him finish up. The West Coast is not getting in the way of anything. I've already said that. I want to belabor the point. The West Coast is not thwarting any efforts made by anyone. We're just not going to play any games and make it seem like, we're trying to do something that we're not. Just real, bro. There are people out in the streets getting it done. And it's easy. I can go to states and name people that have unalived other people or been involved in savagery, bro, with their culture and their state. This is not about tick for tack going back and forth. Now he's accusing the West Coast of unaliving all of the rappers.
They murder your favorite rapper. They started gang culture that has spread to almost every inner city in America. Because of the West Coast, every inner city in America is drug and crime ridden because of the West Coast and their culture, right? Y'all come here for a better life and to get away from violence, and they kill y'all. We try to uprise, like we try to really do something positive for ourselves. Now who's in the way? The West Coast. At what point do we say, hey, bruh, West Coast culture gotta go? And the thing about these West Coast dudes, they're...
Man, bro, stop while you ahead, bro. This motherfucking internet done pumped y'all dudes' head up, man. You motherfuckers done got cool with 4 extra at no jumper and think y'all can speak on all the LA culture, and you're not even from LA. So now you basically almost sending out threats like the West Coast gotta go. Like he's like, this is like a rallying cry. Like he just said, at what point, bro, do we tell these dudes it's enough? Like we finna crash, y'all. We finna stop y'all. This dude, bro, the West Coast culture will never go anywhere. And anybody that try to get in the way with it, bro, like these rappers and all these people that you name and all, motherfuckers gonna get their motherfucking heads took off, bro. Y'all motherfuckers playing games, man. You better watch what you saying, man. For real. The West Coast gotta go. Man, y'all better watch. Y'all better watch this stuff, man. I'm telling you, bro. I'm not gonna do nothing to you. Let me make that abundantly, explicitly clear. Damian L. Porter is not gonna touch you, brother. I promise you. I'm cool. I'm not but I'm telling you, you better be careful with this type of rhetoric. You got the game and the gang fucked up. Whew. These dudes, I can tell y'all how all of this is going to end with these individuals. I'm going to have to continue to cover this. Watch this shit play out in real time.
Yo, they don't really understand it. Like they don't see the Atlanta dudes like they're smart. See, Young Thug understand fairly quickly. The people are getting sick and tired of the streets. We're not asking for your permission to we're gonna get rid of it. It's only for you to decide, are you gonna go along with it or are you gonna say, you know what? Yo, I'm gonna join the consensus. Young Thug, during his Big Bank interview, says something very, very keen. And this is when I realized, okay, they're getting a message. They're understanding we're fed up and we're not going for it anymore. Young Thug said on Big Bank, man, this snitching stuff ain't about the streets, man. Man, streets is dumb. This about this the man code. And the reason why he switched it up from the street code to the man code, because he understands people are against the streets. Folks think the streets are stupid. Now their verbiage and their dialogue is changing to reflect the change of times. He purposely went on Big Banks and refused to say street code and refused to endorse the streets. He didn't begin to switch it up. No, this is the man code. Nah, snitch ain't got itch to do with no man code, bruh. Y'all stick to the street code. That's how you knew times was changing, bruh.
Ain't a damn thing changing. Street code, man code, whatever. I just said it's a man code. It's a personal code. As a man, yes, as a human being, but it's also a street code. And nothing's changing, and nobody's gonna take these dudes off the street in LA on the West Coast. You're not about to clean that shit up, not by threat, not by saying this is what y'all better do and have to do. You done lost your rabid ass mind. You playing a game that you're not about to win. You and all your whole crew, all them fucking incels, bro, that follow you. Y'all motherfuckers playing a dangerous game. Even talking like this, I'm telling you better check yourself, man.
But now they even terrified to represent the streets. So these West Coast dudes,
Ain't nobody terrified. What does this do? Let him go, man.
Go ahead and advocate for gang violence. Let them go ahead and advocate for the streets. Let them do it. It's our job and it's our responsibility to galvanize, to come together and get them out of here. The West Coast gotta go, okay? Now, I'm not talking about violence. I'm talking about—
I know motherfucking well you. Where's the West Coast going? We started all this shit like you just said. Man, bro. Let me stop.
Their music gotta go. The gangbangers gotta go. We have to ostracize them and treat them like pariahs. We have to make sure they're no longer involved, all right? And here's how you do it. You don't collaborate with them. So for example, if you are a musician and there's a West Coast gangbanger who is on his West Coast time and who is really gangbanging and he's pushing for violence, hey, bro, we're not even gonna rock with you, bro. We don't even acknowledge you. If you a podcaster, man, we're not even covering y'all. Man, y'all, bye, bro. Just start to act like they don't even exist until they get on board. Until they get on board with the program.
We're already on board, and people have already acted like people don't exist. That's not going to solve anything, bro. Nobody gives a fuck about that. We're already on board. But at the end of the day, we're not about to take advice. I started off saying I'm all right with Flakko. I have no problem with this individual. And I'm going to stand on that. I'm going to stick to that, bro. I don't have a problem with this individual. Nevertheless, we're not taking advice from him. Individuals on the West Coast and the gang culture, or even just the black culture, are not taking advice as to how we gain our freedom from an individual from North Dakota or wherever. That's not a part of that culture. That only benefits from the culture. No, what's about to stop, what's coming to an end, is you motherfucking black podcasters getting on here thinking that y'all can disparage and denigrate the same culture that you're profiting from. That's what's about to come to a motherfucking end. You better start talking about white people. You better start doing videos on them and the shit that they do. You better get the fuck up off of black culture. That's what's about to come to an end. Making your motherfucking money off us and then talking about us. That's what's about to come to a motherfucking end. Ain't a goddamn thing on the West Coast about to come to an end. Nothing until we stop it. Until we decide to put all that shit down, which we're doing, which we're trying to do. But someone else coming in and talking about they gonna stop it for us. The minute you lost your fucking mind. You need to stop while you're ahead, bro. Stop while you are ahead. For real.
Because if you're not staying on code, bro, you gotta go, homie. Straight up. So who gonna say it though? Right? Who gonna join in? I want to see which one of y'all is brave enough to react to this or make a video to this or even make your own video and say, yeah, the West Coast must go. If I gotta be on the island by myself, I'm gonna be on the island by myself, man.
Yeah, you by yourself. You for sure by yourself. Yeah.
All right? I don't got a gang, bruh. I bang melanin, homie. Straight up. Y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think about this, man. All right? And if you're still watching this video, then click on this video right here to find out how the Adam 22 and Munchie B situation got much worse.
All right. The Adam 22 and Munchie B situation and got much worse. All right, so that's Poetic Flakko, man. Jala, I believe is his name. I don't know. They say all sorts of stuff about him. I know he's going through it with hoodie from the hood. That basically threatened to kill him yesterday or something. Flakko did. If you come at him, you're gonna be dead. That's the same thing. I mean, this guy. I don't know, man. I'm not here to advocate violence. Again, Flakko is okay. You know, he has a right to offer his opinion and to run his content, bro. And that's what he's doing. Everyone here on YouTube is doing that. I'm doing the same thing here. You know, so that's okay. But you just have to be accountable and responsible for the content that you put out there. That's all. And hey, maybe this is a hill that he's going to die on. Maybe he's passionate about it, feels that much about it, that the West Coast is just full of shit and you motherfuckers are scumbags, bums, you know, and that we need to get rid of y'all. Stay safe and stay free, people.